Phrygia lay between rivers and hills where the land was generous and the seasons predictable. Grain bent under its own abundance, vines clung to the sunlight, and the air carried the scent of soil and resin. It was a kingdom that did not struggle to survive. Midas ruled it well. He was not a tyrant, nor a fool. His laws were stable, his people fed, his temples maintained. Yet within him lived a quiet unrest that no harvest could calm. He watched men age, monuments crumble, victories fade into memory. Power, he learned, was temporary. Even glory dissolved. Only one thing endured. Gold did not rot. It did not forget. It did not die. Midas began to see in gold not wealth, but permanence, a substance untouched by decay, a promise that something human hands could grasp might resist time itself. One evening, beneath blooming trees, servants discovered an old man collapsed among the roses. His body was thin, his beard tangled, his breath heavy with wine. He was Silenus, companion, teacher, and guardian of Dionysus, lost far from the gods' procession. Many kings would have mocked him. Some would have punished him. Midas welcomed him. For 10 days and nights the palace shifted. Music echoed where silence once ruled. Laughter spilled into halls accustomed to order. The air itself seemed lighter, as though nature had leaned closer to listen. When Dionysus came to reclaim his companion, he did not come in anger. He came in gratitude, and gratitude from a god is dangerous. Dionysus offered Midas a reward, a single wish, unbound. The king did not hesitate. He asked for a power that would free him from loss forever, that everything he touched would turn to gold. The god granted it. At first, the gift felt divine. Branches hardened into gold-veined sculptures. Stones gleamed like captured suns. Even dust shimmered beneath his feet. He touched the palace doors. Gold. He touched the fountains. Gold. He touched the roses in the garden. Gold. He believed himself chosen, elevated beyond mortal limits. The sun reflected off everything he owned, doubling brilliance until the world seemed ablaze with his power. Birds no longer sang, yet the palace rang with the resonance of metallic light. Even the servants whispered, not in fear, but in awe. Yet perfection is always deceiving. The illusion shattered swiftly. Bread crumbled into metal. Wine froze into lifeless brilliance. Water thickened and sank like molten weight. Every meal became impossible. Even fruit fell into hard, golden lumps. The king, once joyous, now trembled at the simplest acts of living gardens became graveyards of beauty. Roses lost their softness. Leaves fell like statues. Streams of water stood stiff, frozen by the unrelenting touch of gold. Birds perched in cages, statues of once living creatures, their eyes reflecting his folly. The warmth of life had been replaced by the cold gleam of permanence Midas began to understand. Gold preserved form but erased essence. Life is movement. Gold arrests it. Beauty without motion, wealth without giving, is nothing but death masquerading as splendor. When Midas reached for what he loved most, the consequences struck hardest. His daughter, radiant as the morning, ran to greet him. He grasped her hand to embrace, to show his joy. She froze, skin, hair, and eyes transformed to golden perfection. She could neither cry nor speak, nor move except as a statue in the sunlight. Midas recoiled, grief striking like a thunderbolt. All his joy, all his pride, had become imprisonment. He wept beside her, hands trembling, heart breaking with each golden pulse of what he had loved. The palace, once a beacon of life, had become a mausoleum. Even the wind seemed to hesitate, afraid to disturb the frozen gold. For the first time, Midas understood fear, hunger, and loss. All magnified, concentrated, and inescapable, desperate, starving, and ashamed, Midas prayed to Dionysus, begging release. Not wealth, not power. Release. The god guided him to the river Pactolus, whose waters whispered stories older than empires. Midas waded in, gold sliding from his fingers, leaving sand and stone behind. The river absorbed it, carrying it to the sea, embedding it in the earth for future generations. His daughter's form returned to life, flushed and trembling, as if waking from a dream. Tears mingled with water, and for the first time, laughter returned to the palace. Fragile, fleeting, human. Midas emerged from the river, no longer king of gold, but a man humbled. Wealth had taught him limits. Loss had taught him meaning. And water had reminded him that some things are meant to move, to change, to live. From that day onward, Midas ruled differently. He abandoned excess for moderation. He encouraged growth rather than gilded display. Orchards and gardens were left to twist naturally. Music returned to the halls, now tempered by the wisdom of restraint. Even the palace itself, no longer polished to perfection, carried the soft scars of history people noticed. Prosperity returned in subtle forms. Children laughed without fear. Fields yielded crops freely, and markets thrived with honest labor rather than dazzling wealth. Midas observed, not with hunger but with care. He listened more than he commanded. He learned that ruling was not controlling, but nurturing. Yet humility is not a crown easily worn. Old habits, old desires, whispered in shadows. Gods still watched, their patience inexhaustible. When Pan's wild music challenged Apollo's harmony, Midas's heart answered instinctively. He admired the raw, untamed sound over the measured perfection of Apollo's lyre. Though small, the choice revealed that human preference can conflict with divine order. Apollo's judgment was subtle but eternal. Donkey ears appeared, not for humiliation, but as a mark of insight. The soul of a king is visible to the gods, and truth always pierces concealment. Midas hid his ears beneath cloth and crown, yet whispers traveled like wind through reeds, along streams, and into the hearts of his people. The king realized the profound lesson. Secrets denied grow louder, flaws ignored become monuments to folly, and truth, like water, finds every crevice. Midas lived long enough to see fields rise and fall, children grow into rulers, and kingdoms fade into story. He saw the limits of power, the impermanence of glory, and the fragile beauty of mortality. Gold had taught him pride. Loss had taught him value. Shame had taught him humility. In the end, Midas's legacy was not wealth, nor the golden touch. It was understanding. Not all treasures are meant to be held. Some are meant to be lived, loved, and let go. And in the river Pactolus, where gold once flowed from his hands, the sands glimmer still. A reminder of a king who learned that permanence lies not in wealth, but in wisdom. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, and share your impressions of the video.